Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Smith. I'm a member of the business development team at Netcapital. Let's give everyone a few moments here to settle in. All right, this is great. See a lot of people joining. We'll give a few moments here. All right, wonderful. Well, we're going to go through a few housekeeping items, so we'll give folks a few minutes to join while we're running through this. But before we get started, I just wanted to touch upon these items briefly. As with all of our webinars, the companies that we host are live right now and actively fundraising on Netcapital. You can invest in the company that we're going to be speaking with today with Zach and KMX Technologies by visiting netcapital.com and searching KMX Technologies if you are interested in doing so. And for those who are interested in investing right now live, I will drop their link in our chat momentarily. Next, I want to mention that we do want this webinar to be interactive as possible. So please, when asking questions, use the Q&A function and not the chat to send in your questions when it's time, and we will be answering them as they come in. Now, I know there are a lot of investors that are going to be joining us now that have been previously invested in the company, but also investors that are interested in investing in KMX Technology. We will do our best to cover both sides of the aisle, but with that said, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Zach Sadow, CEO of KMX Technologies. And Zach, before we get started, just the context on our relationship. I've been working with Zach for several months now through the start of KMX and while he's been live. And Zach, I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you. So why don't you come on and tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no, thanks so much, Tom. I really appreciate it. Look, it's pretty extraordinary. I've defined myself as CEO of an advanced technology company, and by far the least technical one on the team. We've got an extraordinary team of 11 people, some brilliant scientists, brilliant engineers. I have a finance background. I spent 15 years as an energy analyst. I developed and led a water and energy initiative at Barclays, which really led me to my interest of water technology, the markets, energy, water, and so on. So that's my background. The team, which we'll go through in a little bit, is really the more important part of the story, though.
Thanks, Zach. Well, I would argue that you know, you've been an extraordinary and just fascinating person to work with, and I think great leadership comes from the top down. So, so with that, can you just give us a brief overview of KMX Technology, so folks that have invested can hear from the horse's mouth, and those who haven't invested can just hear from you on a brief overview.
Yeah, thank you. You know, it's very simple. KMX is a simple but powerful cross-cutting technology. At the end of the day, what we do is we concentrate particles, whether it's salts, contaminants, lithium, critical minerals. We can treat wastewater to the highest standards, and we're really the market leader in this technology called membrane distillation. We believe that we're about a generation ahead of the competition. And right now, with the importance to concentrate various minerals, the focus on high-end water treatment, we're just seeing the potential for this technology just explode. So we can do a lot. As I said, it's a powerful cross-cutting technology, but we can't do everything, obviously. We're a small but growing team, so we have to pick a few markets. Our core focuses are, right now, it's the lithium market, where we're a lot of unfolding tailwinds. We're having the benefit of being part of that market. Water treatment, industrial water treatment, and to a lesser extent, the critical mineral market, rare earth elements and other critical minerals as well. We're very excited about that market, but it's not our core focus right now. So It's a pretty extraordinary technology. We've had a lot of we have a lot of recent success, as I mentioned, in the lithium space, and we're very excited about all of those end markets and a lot more.
So we're going to touch on that in a little bit because I know, Zach, from working with you personally, this is disruptive. Your company, the future seems bright, and I know you guys want to execute at a very high level. So obviously that can't come without a great team. So can you
Yeah,
highlight the team that you have involved with KMX Technologies and whom you're working with on a weekly and daily basis?
yeah, no, it's great. We've got extraordinary scientists. Our head of strategy, Dr. Hubert Fleming, former head of water at Anglo American, one of the leading membrane experts out there. Dr. Sean Gianni, our head of technology, just a brilliant scientist, leads all the efforts as relates to the membrane, the housing, the system, how everything interacts, the IP portfolio. Really great to work with. And then Dr. Matt Nerrell, extraordinary scientist who's leading our laboratory in Toronto, which we think is the most advanced membrane distillation laboratory in the world, as mentioned. So great scientific team. We've got great engineers as well. Ghani Hamadi, Mustafa Nasrati. These are the guys that really take the ideas and are making it into are turning it into something real and allowing us to commercialize it and put systems out there in the world where we can actually concentrate lithium and treat water and put it actually on the ground. And we've got a great commercial team as well. And you can see all these people on our website. Alex DeVogel really drives our commercial efforts. Harvey Valls brings a lot of expertise and experience and works between the commercial team and the engineering team. And then Jay Jansen is really out there leading a lot of the efforts as well. And I have to mention my partner, Chris Kelly, as well, who oversees all logistical and operational aspects of the company. He's got a great track record and background in the energy landscape, in the water landscape as well. So he's actually on the road right now, looking out there with some of our treatment equipment, and it's great. So it's a great team, great board as well. Cynthia Archer is an extraordinary important mentor and for me and for the company. She's an extraordinarily strategic thinker and a lot of great board experience. And Bruce Lev, of course, as well, who's substantial board experience and strategy as well. And then Ted Cleary, also some private markets investor. So, and then we have a great advisory board also as well. So, no need to name, I feel like I'm leaving people out, but we have a great team in place.
Bottom line, Zach, you have a robust, intelligent, and great team. Like
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a really
And we could stay on for hours talking about the different sectors in which KMX Technologies is working in, but the ones that you alluded to, can you dive in and break it up into, I guess we would call it thirds here, and talk about the problems that you're trying to solve in each of the sectors and then the overarching theme that comes with that?
Yeah. You have extraordinary demand for lithium. We're at the early stages of a multi-decade upcycle in lithium demand and lithium investment. And right now, there's a looming supply-demand imbalance. There's not going to be enough supply to meet the demand. There's a lot of really interesting and exciting technologies that are focused on pulling the lithium out of the above ground or below ground brines that they're found in. However, that's only the start of the story. After you get that brine out, after you get that lithium out of the brine, it's still in very low concentrations. So from there, there's a number of different aspects, different parts of the value chain to participate in before it gets converted to lithium to batteries. That's where we're really focused on. The tailwinds and the market opportunity related to lithium, I'm sure everyone on this call is aware of, so there's no need for me to talk about the market dynamics there. I think that it's conservatively looking to grow 800% or so this decade. I've seen some pretty extraordinary estimates from industry experts. What I will say about the lithium market is I think that a lot of the low concentration resources, particularly in this country, in Canada, that are not the marquee resource bases, are being overlooked. And I'm happy to talk about that, why. And I think that the improvement of technology will make that resource more economical and bring those resources to the market. And you're going to see a lot of the supply-demand imbalance filled by improvements in technologies and the commercialization of already existing technologies like ours, where the market is not taking into account the ability to economically develop these resources. So that's the lithium market. Anything there? I can stop there for a second.
Yeah,
Tom. I threw a lot at you before we move on to water.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about why you think it's being overlooked.
Well, lithium is found in very low concentrations in a lot of places, and some of the marquee places where they're looking at it, where they think that it's economically possible, whether it's the Salton Sea in Southern California or in Arkansas, where there's some higher concentrations. There's a lot of other resources here in the U.S., here in Canada, that are at lower concentrations. Our technology, what it does, is it concentrates lithium to a level that is optimal for conversion from lithium, its natural state, lithium chloride, to lithium hydroxide. So let's take a step back here. Lithium is found in these resources call it in the 100 parts per million. Now, just for a reminder here, seawater is about 35,000 parts per million. So very low concentration of lithium relative to the salt that's found in seawater, to say. Following the direct lithium extraction process, depending on the technology, there's about a dozen or so emerging leading technologies that are out there in direct lithium extraction, DLE. Following that, you're probably bringing it to about 1,500, 5,000, maybe some of the best one get it to about 10,000 one day with improvements. After that, it needs to get to the place where the battery makers want it to optimally be converted from its natural state, lithium chloride, to lithium hydroxide, which is battery grade lithium. They would like it at around 250,000 parts per million. What we do is we take it up all the way from that 5,000 or so area to 250,000. Reverse osmosis gets it to about 60,000 parts per million, and then we can come in and bring it all the way. Now, this is a pretty good segue into the industrial water treatment market. But before I talk about what we do in industrial water treatment, it's important to recognize that our technology is complementary with reverse osmosis, with conventional water treatment technologies. In the same way that I just outlined, how reverse osmosis brings it to 60,000, then we bring it to 250,000. And at that point, it's ready to be converted from lithium chloride to lithium hydroxide. Now, what we're replacing is massive evaporation ponds right now. Now, the DLE companies, as I said, that's just one part of the puzzle, because you still have lots of water that needs to be removed. And that's where we come in and complement their technology.
It's incredibly exciting, Zach.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. In this space, we've announced 2 LOIs over this last month, actually. One this week and one a few weeks ago, with 2 really extraordinary lithium companies. Cleantech Lithium, that is a UK-based lithium company with 2 marquee projects in Chile. And then, of course, Cornish Lithium, which is one of the highest profile lithium producers in the world with its projects in Cornwall. in the UK. These are two of the most sustainably minded lithium companies out there that are really looking to introduce the most advanced technology and take into consideration all aspects of their operations, whether it's their operational footprint, their efficiency levels, and of course their water full life cycle as well. So we could not be more excited to be working with these companies. We recently conducted a successful lab pilot for Cornish Lithium, and our LOI comes on the back of that with them. Now we're excited to move into the pilot planning process with them for their pilot. Where they will be looking at DLE technology over the summer, as early as over the summer.
And I know that Zach, you've been great about updating folks on the different releases and the exciting ground breakthroughs. So I do want to give you a plug there that via LinkedIn and the different social media channels that KMX Technologies has for folks that want to stay up to date, please follow them there, as well as you can interact with Zach on his discussion board via Netcapital on the KMX Technology page. And Zach, is there anything else before we move on to the next question in terms of problem solving on what, at KMX Technology is going to be focusing on between, now to the end of the year, but most excitingly in 2022?
It's really gearing up for some of these pilots.
Yep.
The team is going down to Chile next month. Alex DeVogel is going down there. He'll be doing field visits, site visits with Cornish Lithium. There'll be more. There's a number of exciting commercial development opportunities unfolding. Gearing up for the work in Cornwall is important. So basically, and then there's a lot of U.S. projects that we're looking at as well. So it's a little daunting. We're a small team that's looking at projects in South America, the UK, and hoping to land a few here in the US and Canada pretty soon here. We can only be so many places at once, and we're growing, we're expanding. We're obviously bringing on growth capital right now, what I would like to see over the next year for our lithium business would be threefold. One would be intense focus on the execution of the opportunities that we've already taken on. And the team is very focused on that, of course. Two, expanding the opportunity set as we can with the resources that we can. We're not going to be able to keep up with the market. There's too many opportunities out there. So we have to pick and choose which opportunities we go after here. But I would hope and expect to have some more under our belt in the coming year. And then three, the technical team is not sleeping on the job here. They are pushing for the next generation of technology. We are expanding our patent portfolio and really looking to drive the cost down and improve the economics for this whole process and for lithium production. So it's pretty exciting. We definitely have our work cut out for us.
So there's so many things that's going on with KMX Technologies, and when you think of it as a whole, can you help the folks on this webinar and those who will be listening and just thinking about, okay, massive opportunity? How big is the market, Zach, for the product and for the different endeavors that KMX Technology is doing?
I mean, it's extraordinary. The lithium market, to be able to supply the demand that the electric vehicle build out is going to need. It's a 10x growth market from here. It's the lithium market alone. Our aspect of it is it's extraordinary. Just to throw out the numbers of the market size, yep, I think is probably the wrong way to look at it. We're talking about very large infrastructure projects that are once these are in the ground, also they're there for a long time, decades. These are extraordinary in tech-enabled industrial service infrastructure assets and market opportunity. We will not be able to get anywhere close to keeping up with the market potential here, that kind of growth. So, for us, we haven't put out there publicly what we foresee as our growth outlook beyond the publicly announced projects that we have. But I think that this company, I say this conservatively here, my belief is this has the potential to get very large very fast, just focusing on a few wins and building brick by brick on top of that. So I try to look away from sizing the entire market opportunity and just moving with the tailwinds and staying focused on our very, very narrow value proposition. That's on the lithium side. The water market, you want me to stop there, Tom? Or would you like to? The water market's a very large market, of course. A question here. How many LOIs do you hope to have by the end of 2022? Right now, we have 3 LOIs. There's 2 with the lithium companies and 1 more industrial treatment technology. And this is probably a good segue into industrial water. And that's with a really exciting company as well called Meridian Energy Group. Meridian is building the first full conversion refinery in this country in 50 years. And this is in North Dakota, and they are doing this with an eye towards the highest environmental standards as well. They want everything, whether the air quality, they're taking noise into consideration, their water footprint, also the fuels they produce. They want fuels for the next generation of the energy transition. And we will be treating their water to such a high standard that we aim to give back the municipality better quality water than the refinery takes in. So we have 3 LOIs, all of which are in our minds with sustainability leaders in the energy space. The team is out there. Right now, mostly focused on lithium, I would say. However, we do have some very exciting industrial water treatment opportunities in the pipeline. I don't think we're prepared at this point to say how many LOIs we're going to have at the end of 2022, but I think that we'll have I would hope a few more lithium ones and maybe a impactful industrial water treatment partnership or 2, which leads to a number of really compelling opportunities.
And Zach, I just want to jump in there for folks. We do have a number of questions that are lined up. I just want to encourage everyone, please use the Q&A function, not the chat. On my side, we have a number of questions queued up, and we'll answer them as they come in. And Zach, so really, and I am seeing this repeat theme here because we know this is such an incredibly exciting space.
Yeah.
Your company is working on so many different things, and the future, is extraordinary for energy companies and things like that. You've seen a big push in the media and whatnot. So the question is coming in terms of your business model, KMX Technologies, how does the company make money?
Yeah, let me, what we do, it may seem like we're focused on so many different things, but we're focused on one thing that we're extraordinarily good at and that we're the market leader at, and we are very deep in that one thing. That one thing is concentrating particles, salts, lithium, minerals. And we do that very, very well. That one thing that we're very good at happens to have cross-cutting applications. Now, for us, it obviously sounds like we're all over the place, and we need to watch the different markets and see how they evolve, and we need to pick which markets we want to be in. But aside from that, the team is very focused on this one very narrow aspect and staying ahead of it. We want to make sure that we maintain our market leadership in it. How do we make money? Well, we have 2 different markets that we're focused on right now, obviously. Lithium, industrial water treatment. Industrial water treatment is pretty straightforward. we have a large piece of infrastructure. We build it. We look to long-term lease it under a baseline, call it 10-year term contract. And then we provide the customer with a contract where we basically we target a 30% unlevered IRR, and they can pay for that contract over the contract, pay for that infrastructure over the life of the contract instead of having to pay for it all up front. Now it turns into an operating expense, an OpEx item, instead of a CapEx item where they have to pay everything up front. We look to project finance these with a project finance partner, and we'll look to repeat and replicate and get as many of these out there as possible. Now, on the water treatment side, we didn't really touch on this so much. What we do is also complementary, as I mentioned, to reverse osmosis and conventional industrial water treatment technologies, where they treat, call it 90% or so of the water. And then you're left with this 10% that they can't treat, which is really like this briny, just concentrated kind of sludge. We treat that. And then now you have as close to a solid as you're going to get, and you have pure water as well. And for companies that are really looking for a very high level of of environmental standards, of wastewater outflows, this is a very important technology for them to access. So that's how we make money on the water side, the industrial water side. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, scalable and repeatable. And we think that there's going to be more and more industrial corporate clients. They're going to want this, obviously, as they look to enhance their environmental standards, and also municipalities. We're looking at a couple really exciting opportunities right now for inland desalination opportunities, where you have a municipality that is pumping up, let's just say, brackish groundwater. Okay, this is salty groundwater that needs to be treated through reverse osmosis before they drink it and treat it. And then you have this reverse osmosis reject again that the municipality needs to do something with. One option is pipelining it out to the ocean, which is obviously not a great scenario, or treating it on location with our technology. So that's how we make money in the industrial water business.
It's exciting stuff, Zach. And can you touch upon the lithium market?
The lithium market is developing as we speak in many ways. And we're excited to have a couple different levers to pull for how we monetize the lithium market. Right now, we're more focused on building up our project backlog in lithium. And as this is an emerging space, we want to work with the lithium companies, with the with the producers, to make sure that they have the right mix of because, well, let me just back up here. Industrial water treatment is a liability and is an operating expense. Lithium production is a revenue driver. So we're helping the resource developer increase its revenue versus, say, an industrial water treatment company where we're helping them with their operating expense or with their environmental footprint or whatnot. So there's an opportunity for us to say, okay, we can help you, we can install a system for you, help you maximize your lithium production, bring that resource to the market sooner, also improve your environmental footprint as well. We can lease you a system like we do in the industrial water treatment market, or we could also participate in the project economics some way. So there's some levers to pull there as well, each of which we're excited about. And I think there'll be a mix of how we monetize that market. I think we'll probably look for some base payments, some milestone payments, and where we can, participation on the upside of the production as well.
This is exciting, Zach. And for anyone who's listening or will be listening to this recording, if you're interested in investing in KMX Technologies and learning more about what Zach's talking about and what his company is doing, they are live on netcapital.com right now, raising money. The company in just a a few short months has raised almost $600,000 from both accredited and non-accredited investors. And you can visit netcapital.com/company/KMX-technologies if you're interested in investing. Zach, this is incredible progress that's been made in really a short period of time. And I think folks, I'm seeing I'm going to cover a couple questions here because folks want to know about that progress. So can you talk about some of the milestones and what's been most exciting about 2022 for KMX Technologies?
What's been exciting? What is exciting for 2022?
2021, and then we'll talk about 2022.
It's honestly, it's all the team. We have built this team this past year. This team has worked together in many ways in developing this technology, because this technology has been developed by these scientists, by these engineers, and we are just now building it, expanding it, changing the commercial focus and really bringing it to market. Now it's we're building the team. Commercializing this technology in the lithium space has been extraordinarily exciting. Now, look, having been an energy analyst for 15 years, I've always been thinking, at one day the energy transition will come. And we were very excited in this technology because of that eventual energy transition. We just didn't expect it to happen this fast, and at this pace. And I think that a lot of the estimates that you're seeing that are out there for the change from oil demand to lithium demand is probably happening faster right now than is expected. I think that there's a lot of breakthroughs that whether it be with the switch, the internal combustion engine switch with heavy duty trucks that currently wasn't looked at before. Basically, the full fleet build out of all the towards electric vehicles, a lot of the leading automakers out there, and just increased electrification internationally, globally here. So it's unfolding at a pace. It's certainly happening sooner than I would have ever expected as a energy market observer. But it's happening at a pace right now, which is more ferocious than I would have ever expected. So it's very exciting to be at the forefront of the lithium market with this team, with a unique value proposition for it.
That is incredibly exciting, Zach. Before I got ahead of myself, can we now talk about what you're most excited of in the coming year in 2022 for KMX Technologies?
Yeah, no, listen, it's executing upon some of the opportunities that we're that we have under our belts. We've got these are just the 3 opportunities that we've mentioned with that have been publicly announced with Clean Tech Lithium in Chile. The team's going down there soon. I think getting operational in Chile is very exciting. I look forward to going down there at some point. Going to Cornwall. This is a historic mining district that is going through a major revitalization because of the energy transition, and they happen to sit on top of all of these lithium and critical mineral resources here. So gearing up and getting ready for that, going there, and then of course the work with Meridian Energy Group and some of these other opportunities that we haven't made public yet that we're hoping to close in on. Executing a couple of those and building out on our current pipeline. It's going to be a great year. We need to add to the team. Mm-hmm. We definitely need to make some new hires. We need to build the bench. Our team is running all out, no doubt about it. And we need to continue to enhance the technology. So it's an exciting year ahead. We're really there's a lot of momentum and a lot of camaraderie right now.
So Zach, I'm going to pull in 2 questions. We have a number of questions here, but I think a couple of them encompass 2 different things. Folks are interested in terms of Q1 and Q2 of next year. What is Zach most excited about in terms of the milestones in between Q1 and Q2 for KMX Technologies?
Well, I mean, it's nothing happens overnight.
Yep.
I think there's a really good someone told me, you overestimate what you can do in a year and you underestimate what you can do in 10 years. And being a former energy analyst, I obviously looked quarter to quarter at things, but you miss some of the overarching macro trends that are unfolding. So I'm not so focused on what's going to happen in Q1 or Q2. What we need to do is really zone in for the customers that are buying our technology and make sure that we're executing for them. That's going to be our core focus over the first half of 2022, no doubt about it. And that's a mix of the commercial team and the engineering team, and they're working hand in hand on this right now, and working with those counterparties to make sure those are successful. I'm very excited about the expanding IP portfolio. We'll be making a lot of improvements to our lab, hopefully. The scientists always have, Dr. Nerol, Dr. Gianni, and Dr. Fleming, they always have ideas that they want to implement on how to make these things better. And so that's an important thing as well. We probably need to chase the market more aggressively as well, following these two recent commercial successes. I think we need to get in front of more customers and showcase our technology and show the value proposition for them as well. And you can't be everywhere all at once, and that's kind of why I say it's difficult to pinpoint something happening in Q1 versus over a longer duration.
Sure. And Zach, with that, a lot of folks are wondering about the project in Chile. So can you, just going to put it out there, can you tell us as much as you can about this project and why it's so exciting?
The answer is yes and no.
Yep.
I cannot say what's beyond what's been publicly announced.
Yep.
However, Fox Davies, which is a leading UK-based research firm, put out a very substantial research report on clean tech lithium. So I believe that's been on the Clean Tech Lithium and been shared on the Fox Davies and Clean Tech Lithium LinkedIn pages. This is a 40-page report that showcases their two projects in Chile, talks about their approach to utilizing DLE, to how they're leveraging geothermal and solar to not only improve project economics, but also to have the highest environmental standards. And there's a lot of information in that report. It was a really great report written by one of the best mining analysts out there. So for anyone that really wants to dig into the weeds, I'd encourage them to look at that. For us on our side, we're excited to be working with such a progressive and environmentally focused and mining company that's really in the core of and has some great projects to develop here. So
it's incredibly exciting, Zach. And I just want to reiterate, if folks who are listening now and those who will be listening in the future are interested in learning more about KMX Technologies, please go to netcapital.com, and KMX Technologies will appear, and you can read more about the company, about Zach, about the robust team that he's put together, and most excitingly, how they're looking to protect the environment and continue to move the ball down the field, which is, it's admirable, Zach. Everyone knows we sure need it.
No, it's great. The team is very passionate about what it is we do, and they're very not only believe in the potential of this technology wholeheartedly, but what it means to deploy it on a large scale. So no, thank you.
No, absolutely. I love companies, and we love all of our companies here at Netcapital, but the ones that are really doing well by doing good. And I think the baseline and the thesis to KMX Technologies is, you guys are really trying to make a massive impact on not only a U.S. but clearly a global scale here, which is exciting, and it's something that we should all be thinking about doing, right?
It's very cool, and the companies that we're working with are really we are building on their efforts in many ways. So yeah, it's all a collaboration.
Absolutely. Zach, again, I'm going to put a couple questions together here because we do have a lot that are coming, which I appreciate everyone for such interaction today. But can you talk a little bit about the differentiators between KMX Technology and some of your competitors out there?
There's not a lot of competition in the space.
Okay.
And as I mentioned, we believe we're about a generation ahead in technology development. I can't speak to too much about why we believe that is, but we're doing our best to stay out front on that. We have a great technology description on our website that really breaks down what we do, how we do it, and why it's different. But in many ways, what we're competing with, the competition, is really conventional solutions, not a technology competitor to us in many ways. We think that what we're competing with is building a pipeline to the Pacific Ocean, let's say, and an engineering firm coming in and having to make a recommendation to a municipality to either build a massive pipeline for X amount of dollars versus set up our treatment system. So that's really what we're competing with. So it's a whole process, and there's a lot of qualitative and quantitative factors that go into a decision like that. On the lithium side, we're competing with evaporative ponds in many ways. And if you're a environmentally and operationally conscious producer, there's really not much of a question, particularly if you're trying to enhance your social license to operate, to go out there and build a massive evaporative pond. Not only are you evaporating the water, which would have a great use in many of these arid regions, but in some cases, you don't have that kind of land footprint to use. So, we feel very good about our competitive position as a technology leader, one, and considering where these markets are going and where the world is going versus conventional alternatives.
And then again, we're going to put a couple questions together here because I know we only have a few minutes left. Zach, when you think about potential exits for investors, what comes to mind?
Yeah, we're not thinking about potential exits right now. We are thinking about building the business. We are thinking about building the backlog, and we'll sort those opportunities out when we get there. We are focused on enhancing shareholder value for all of our shareholders and stakeholders, and delivering for our customers right now. That's it. And we'll enter into partnerships with technology leaders, resource developers, hopefully large companies, small companies, so on, and we'll maximize our opportunity set, and then we'll make those decisions when we make them. Obviously, our focus is on growing backlog, converting that backlog to revenue, and converting that revenue into increasing levels of cash flow. And at that point, we'll look to maximize value for all stakeholders.
I think it's a great answer, Zach. And knowing you for a while now, you've always said that from the beginning. So I'm happy that everyone could hear it. Getting specific here, we have a question that came in. Is KMX Technology doing any work regarding the legacy mine waste sites that populate the western region of the United States?
So that's our third vertical that is less of a focus, critical minerals. And it would be, if the lithium market wasn't unfolding at the pace that it's unfolding at, we would have more time to focus on this. We are very excited about this market. These tailings dams are very mineral rich. You have all sorts of critical minerals and including rare earth elements in a lot of these abandoned mine tailings dams. They need to be extracted and concentrated up to a place where they can be converted into something useful, obviously. We have the ability to do that here, but the market is not at the same place today where the lithium market is. And however, we're excited for when it gets to the place where the market is there, and we're able to deploy our technology, in a more responsive way. But yes, we talk to a lot of these. We talk to a lot of different companies that are looking at this, whether it's mining companies, project developers, all sorts of different angles here for how to extract those critical minerals and bring them to the market. But right now, it's not our top focus. But I wouldn't be surprised if the commercial team landed something in this area over the next year or two. But don't know.
Exciting. And Zach, again, putting a couple questions here. Can you talk about, and I know, you're just getting started in both Chile and the US, but just abstract a little more on what you're doing within the United States?
Yeah, no, for on the lithium business, we're looking at opportunities for geothermal and brine, lithium and geothermal and brine resources. And those are obviously, those projects are out there. There's a lot of high profile ones that we're interested in. And there's a lot of under the radar ones as well, which we're interested in too. So, we definitely want to play a growing role in the U.S. lithium market as well, and the Canadian lithium market. In the U.S. industrial treatment market, as I mentioned, we have some exciting potential municipal inland desalination opportunities, as well as very high-end water treatment jobs with large corporate counterparties that they want to either enhance their operational efficiency or get in front of strengthening state and local regulations, which require a higher standard of water treatment for their waste streams. So we talk to a lot of and have irons in the fire on a lot of really exciting large industrial water treatment opportunities in the U.S. and are increasingly looking at some municipal opportunities as well. So that's our U.S. focus.
That's great, Zach. And another question here, just wants you to, again, abstract upon this a little more. How does your tech compare to the standard technologies being used in the lithium industry today?
I'm distracted by this question here about valuation. To take a look at the our offering statement for comments on our valuation. That was
Yep. And just to clarify that, you can visit netcapital.com right now, and Zach's offering page lays out how the valuation came to be, what he plans to do with the current money that's raised, and also, most excitingly, background information about KMX Technology and where they're headed. And again, just for everyone, please put your questions in the Q&A. And so, Zach, just real quick, talking about the tech and just what differentiates you between the standard lithium technology that's in the market today.
Well, I mean, it's completely, the DLE technology in many ways, it's a very exciting technology where lithium is passing through a membrane and selectively capturing those lithium particles, and then from there, that's pulling out that resource. For us, it's kind of the opposite. What we're doing is we are running this brine at very high levels, and at about 60, 70 degrees Celsius through our membranes with a vacuum applied to the outside. And that water turns to vapor and passes through pockets in the membrane. And then you have the particles, the lithium, the salt, whatever it is on the other side. So it's a complementary technology. We don't do what they do. They don't do what we do.
Yep.
We're very excited about the proliferation of more direct lithium extraction companies, technology, and the improvement of them, because that will lead to the proliferation of our technology, we believe. So yeah, we're rooting for all these guys.
Zach, I think that's a great answer and really sums up just you that you're in it together with a lot of different companies, and KMX Technology is on the forefront of a lot of what's going on, which is extremely exciting. And as we get to the end of the hour here, I'm going to put the ball in your court. I'm thinking about investing right now. Why should I consider investing in KMX Technologies with everything that's so exciting going on, and the opportunity?
Look, investing in an early stage company is risky, is a personal decision, should be made with your own investment criteria and risk return, kind of appetite in mind. And with all that being said, if that checks all of your boxes, I think we're on the early stages of an extraordinary early multi-decade upcycle in lithium production, lithium investment, and in high-end water treatment. We have an extraordinary team that has differentiated technology with tailwinds and an ability to capture a lot of those two markets. That doesn't even take into account the critical mineral markets that I mentioned and other applications for our technology, which we believe are pretty vast. Yeah. So look, once again, it's an early stage technology company that is focused on execution for our very specific pilots, and then build our backlog brick by brick. But if the risk reward mix is right for an investor, we think it's a great story, a great opportunity.
Zach, it has been an absolute pleasure working with you over the last couple of months. The offering
Likewise
will be extended through the end of the year, and we'll be working with KMX Technologies in 2022 as well to most likely a different capacity. So the opportunity right now is live on netcapital.com to invest in KMX if you're so inclined to do so. Zach, we're so thankful to have you and your team part of our portfolio, part of our company, and me personally. I'm just so thankful to have worked with you for the last several months. I've learned a ton, and every day is exciting working with you, and really just seeing where your company has gone in just a few short months, and where it's going to go, contingent upon everyone executing at the highest level. But it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you, and thank you for joining us on this webinar.
It's been a really good experience working with you as well, and working with the whole Netcapital team as well. And we're having a really good time with it. So thanks a lot, Tom.
Really appreciate it, Zach. And thank you to everyone that has joined us. Again, you can visit netcapital.com right now and visit KMX Technologies offering page to learn more about this exciting company. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.